As 2022 draws to a close, things at Relogic have begun to wind down. As we all know, Terraria 1.4.5 is set to be the next update, but work on that isn't actually going to begin until the new year. And even though Relogic is kind of shutting down for the month, they've still given us a brand new state of the game, so let's talk about what's new. First off, they wrote another month, another set of hotfixes for Labor of Love. You all have been really on the ball in getting us detailed and useful reports since launch, so much so that we have already released 9 hotfixes since release. At this point, we feel like things are in a good place based on current reporting and our own observation. Thus, it is our plan to call 1.4.4.9 the final fixed version of Terraria 1.4.4, meaning that the team can now turn its attention towards 1.4.5 and beyond. And real quick here, Relogic have released so many hotfixes, they can't even remember how many there's been. There's actually been 10. But they did go on to say, prior to that, however, the team will be taking a bit of time to spend with friends, family, and probably a new game or free. Expect the news to be a bit light in the meantime, but we will be back as soon enough to give glimpses and spoilers into the latest and greatest in the world of Terraria. Now, on that note, you may be wondering, well, what's going to happen to Relogic if everybody is away? Don't worry, I have an answer, because last night, Senex tweeted out, Relogic is shutting down for the month of December. I am so proud of the work our team has done this year and look forward to starting the next final update in January. And listen, I saw an opportunity, I took it. I asked, can I run things while you're away? And Senex responded, sure, why not? What's the worst that could possibly happen? So as the new self-appointed temporary CEO of Relogic, even though the role comes with absolutely zero powers or employees, I can say, don't worry, you're all in safe hands. I'm sure it'll be fine. So moving on, we also got some console news. They've said crossplay planning is also in full swing, and we feel pretty good and confident with where we have netted out in those discussions. Of course, having a great plan is only one part of a much larger and longer effort to try and make Terraria crossplay happen. Once we are able to get a better sense for if our plan will be acceptable on the Microsoft, Sony, Nintendo, Apple, Google side of things, we will try to share as much about our approach as possible and maybe even tease you with a spoiler or two. Oh, and a lot of this depends on what goes into 1.4.5 when it arrives as well. We can't have crossplay without everyone being on the same version after all. So I will say it gives me quite a bit of confidence to know that Relogic are actually still talking about the idea of crossplay, even though it seems like a pretty hard task to pull off and something that's clearly not around the corner. It's great to see that it is still in sightlines. Also, in somewhat Terraria news, Terraria.shop has been updated with some brand new items. And not only that, they're all on sale until December 4th, which is kind of perfect because that's when you want to be ordering by to make sure you get Christmas delivery. They've got new things like mystery keychains in a bag. Ooh, very special. You can collect up to 12 of these. And if I open one up live on camera, we will find out what I get, okay? What is it? What's inside? It's an Eye of Cthulhu. Look at that. But not only that, if you don't want an Eye of Cthulhu, well, they also now sell chippy keychains. Yeah, that's right. So you can get a small version of me to carry around. How delightful. You can buy these on their own, or you can get them completely for free if your order is already $20 or more. Simply add one of these to your basket and use coupon code KEYCHAIN, and that will make it completely free. And also, it's an affiliate code, so by using it, you support the channel. Moving on, we're going to talk about TModLoader, and then I want to share some news from some Terraria mods which I've got my eye on. First off, in the state of the game, the TModLoader team had this to say: we've just about caught up to vanilla Terraria version-wise, and have TModLoader running well in the 1.4.4 era. We are actively discussing with the modding community on when to make the swap over to this latest version as the default/live version of TModLoader. In addition to the coming soon 1.4.4 compatibility, several contributors are actively working on ways to bring new features to modders, which we will delve into at a later date. As always, we are more than happy to have more hands on deck getting these features accessible, so don't be shy if you feel like you could contribute. As we look towards closing our initial porting efforts for TModLoader 1.4.4, our eyes are turning back to improving TModLoader with some long overdue localization upgrades on the horizon. Stay tuned for more information on upcoming overhauls. So yeah, a lot sooner than I was expecting, they've done the porting work to 1.4.4, and as always, TModLoader team, thank you very much. I feel like modding really keeps the community alive, and these people do it so selflessly, and they work so hard. Like, come on, what would Terraria be without modding at this point? Alright, so let's talk mods then. In my last modded news video, I spoke about Mod of Redemption porting its way to 1.4, and recently, they just released a beta. And in this beta, they say that it does not contain multiplayer compatibility, Ritualist class, Soulless Caverns, Deep Space, Fort for Mega Prototype, Ruined Kingdom, Post-Moonlord Biome expansions, Foul Morning Event, but it does include a brand new pre-hard mode boss, reworking of basically every weapon, overhauls to the abandoned lab, boss reworks, and a bunch of other stuff. So if you want to check it out, I'll leave a link to it down below, and that's for TModLoader 1.4.3. Moving on, Starlight River is a mod we love to talk about here on the channel because it looks so flash. Take a little look at this brand new spoiler showing the phase blades, and honestly, after the reworks we had in 1.4.4, I need this in my life, okay? These look so good, and honestly, I don't think I can look at a phase blade the same again, right? I need this in actual Terraria. They've also got a brand new geode bow, which builds up crystals on enemies, acting as weak points you can shoot for a burst of high damage. And this next spoiler is especially cool. They say, fuel your bloodlust with Sharon's Obol. The cursed accessory transforms enemies' dropped currency into soul-forged coins, which can be ricochet into other coins and into more enemies. Yeah, they basically added coin ricochet, and it's so flash. This is why we love Starlight River. And finally, let's talk about the Thorium mod. They recently wrote a Discord post that said, "Hey everyone, I'd like to take a moment to address the pace of our progress over these last few months. Due to an absurd lack of time to develop the mod as much as I would have liked, we've decided to release a port in the coming months rather than the behemoth update that we had planned. This will bring a playable version of Thorium in 1.4 far more quickly." They also went on to say, now that doesn't mean new additions and changes won't be coming with the port, rather every change is within the context of 1.4 specifically. An example being ectomist crafting, new gem trees and creatures, item removals and refurbishments to better align with 1.4 standards, etc. Now what this does mean is that the new thrower updates that were teased will come in a following update dedicated to it. Same with boss changes, the new boss, healer rework, and other such additions. And they also said to give any sort of ETA or idea of completion, we're about 65% plus through our 10-page changelogs on the port changes alone. So yeah, bit of a shake-up for the Thorium mod, but I actually think that this is a step in the right direction. I feel like getting the port out there is going to lift a big weight off their shoulders, and then they can get working on any changes that they actually want to make. But yeah, that's it for today's video. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.